Okay, baby, so let's go ahead and start where we left off in class. It says the first equation of a linear system is negative 6x plus 12 equals negative 42. Choose the second question to form a linear system with no solution. So you have to think that in order for them to have no solution, they need to be parallel. So I need to find a line that's parallel, which means are the same. All right, so I look at this one, it says minus 6x plus 12y. So all I'm doing is looking for one that will give me the same thing. Negative 6x plus 12y, we'll do the same steps for both of them. You got to say plus 6x divided by 12, and then that will give you a slope of 1/2. So this is the equation that I need. So the correct answer would be letter D. All right, let's go for number 12. For number 12, I have to go ahead and which graph represents the solution of the linear system? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and solve for y on both of them. So negative 3x minus y equals negative 5. I'm going to put my invisible one over here. And I'm going to say plus 3x on both sides. So that'll be negative 1y equals 3x minus 5. Now I got to divide by a negative 1. And y equals negative 3x plus 5. So I'm going to use that to try to figure out my first line. It has to have a slope of 5, y-intercept of 5. So there's your y-intercept of 5. I don't see any other with a y-intercept of 5 on that line that has a slope of negative 3 over 1. So 1, 2, 3 over 1. So that's the correct, and it's negative. Jimmy is walking down. So that should be the right equation. All right, so my correct answer would be graph A. Let's go to the next one. The perimeter of a regular hexagon is 54 inches or less. So the perimeter has to be less than or equal to 54. Identify the set to describe L. And we already talked about that the set would mean the domain and the range. We did one today in class. The length of each side of the hexagon and P, the perimeter. So I got to do length N. The first thing that you got to do is identify which one is Y and which one is X. So which one depends on what? Oh, I'm sorry, you couldn't see that. All right. So if the perimeter has to be less than or equal to 54, the length has to be less than or equal to something, okay? Now, what changes what? Well, the length changed the perimeter, which means length would be your X, and perimeter would be your Y. Now, a regular hexagon, you have to know what that is. The definition of a regular hexagon is that all sides are the same. All sides are equal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that 54 and divide it by 6 because that's how many sides a hexagon has. And that tells me that the length has to be less than or equal to 9. But then I have to think about, can I have lengths that are negative? So that's where the range changes a little bit than the domain. So the range has to be, that will be y, less than or equal to 54, but it also has to be bigger than 0. It cannot be 0. You cannot have a perimeter of 0. Now the domain would be x, and we already know that it's less than or equal to 9, but it has to be less than 0 because you cannot have a number of 0. Now this data would be discrete because not all numbers divided by 6 will be equal to 54. So let me go ahead and write that down. That's a discrete data. Even though it's not asking you, let's go ahead and write it. All right, ready for the next one? Number 14. Okay, so number 14 says create a linear system to model this situation. Sailing towards each other at the same time from two islands that are 365 kilometers apart. One ship travels 5 kilometers faster than the other. They meet in hours. What is the average speed of each ship? And then we got to verify that 34 kilometers per hour and 39 kilometers per hour represent the solution of the linear system. Well, we have to figure out what x and y are, okay? So I'm going to say that x is my slower ship and that y is my faster ship. So I'm going to take the second sentence that said faster than the other, that would be y, and y travels 5 kilometers faster, so that would be x plus 5. Now, if they meet in 5 hours, then whatever speed the first one goes times 5, plus whatever speed the second one goes times 5, would have to be equal to 365, because that is the distance that they want to cover, because that's how far they are apart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use substitution. I'm going to take that first one and substitute the value of y, substitute all of that in there. So that would be open parentheses x plus 5, and that equals to 365. After that, I'm going to go ahead and take my calculator and go to equation solver and solve that. So I'm going to math and solver, and I'm going to write down 5x plus 5, x plus 5, minus 365. I'm going to take a second to make sure that that's correct. It is. Enter, alpha, enter, which means x equals 34. Now we want to make sure that 34 was one of my options, so yes it is. So now I'm going to take that other equation and plug in the 34 for x. So it would be 34 plus 5, and that equals 39. So there are my 2 points. All right, number 15. Write a sequence of equations and then solve by the method of your choice. Reserve seat tickets for the football game cost 4 each, and general admission tickets cost 3. So the first thing, guess what? We gotta define my x and my y. I'm gonna say that x is reserved and that y is general. All right. The reserved ones are $4. The generals are $3. After the game is over, the turnstile count shows that's how many people went to the game, and the total receipts were $5,792. So one of these equations have to be equal to the amount of money, so that involves the 4 and the 3. But then, That involves the 4 and the 3, and then the other equation has to be equal to the amount of tickets that were sold. Okay, so let's do the first one, which is the easiest one. X plus Y equals 17. How many people bought reserve? How many people bought general? Needs to be equal to the amount of people that went to the game. And then the other one involves the money. So 4x plus 3y equals 5,792. Now I'm going to go ahead and solve for y and substitute just because I like equation solving. So I'm going to substitute this in here where the y is. I'm going to say 4x plus 3, and I'm going to open parentheses, negative x plus 1787 equals 5792. Now I'm going to go to equation solver and solve that. We go open, clear, and let's go ahead and write it. 4x plus 3, negative x plus 1787 close parentheses minus 5792. Take a few seconds to make sure that is right. We got a 4x plus 3, negative x plus 1787 minus, okay, so we got enter alpha, enter, and x equals 431. Now I can go in and plug it in right there. So negative 431 plus 1787. Put it out of there and then go ahead and do that math. So negative 431 plus 1787. That should be equal to 1,356. So y equals 1356. So there were 431 tickets sold that were reserved at $4, and 1,356 tickets that were sold that were general at $3. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, I'm trying to decide what would be the cell phone plan for her. She has narrowed her choices down to 2, Spirit and Horizon. Spirit has a fixed fee of 20 and an additional charge of 5 cents per minute. Horizon has no fixed fee and charges 15 cents per minute. So let's define our variables. X equals minutes and y equals cost. Because the minute, how much you're talking to phone depends on how much you are paying. So let's go ahead and do the first one. Formulate and write an equation that shows the total cost for n minutes for Spirit. So for Spirit, y equals fixed fee of 20 and an additional 5 cents. And this is where you need to be careful. 5 cents is written as 0.05x. That was letter A. Letter B says, formulate and write an equation that shows the total cost per n minutes for Horizon. So let's do Horizon. Horizon has no fixed fee, but charges 15 cents per minute. So that was B. We're done with B. Solve the systems of equations using any method. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the one that I prefer, which is, actually, we don't have to do substitution because both of them are equal to y. So let's go ahead and, if both of them are already equal to y, let's go ahead and equal them. So that would be this y, 20 plus 0.05x, and then the other y would be 0.15x. After that, I got my calculator and I go to equation solver. Now open, clear it. So 20 plus 0.05x minus 0.15x. And then it's enter alpha, enter. And x equals 200. Now let's go back and figure out what x was. X was the number of minutes. So I can talk for a maximum of 12 minutes and let me figure out how much would I get charged. Now remember, this is a point where they meet. So at 200 minutes, the cost for both companies is going to be exactly the same. So I'm going to do Horizon, which is the easiest one to do. And I'm going to do 0.15 times 200. I'm going to quit out of there and say 0.15 times 200 for a total bill of $30. So at 200 minutes, $30 is my bill. Those two come exactly the same. That's where they meet. That's the point that they coincide. Now that was C. Let's go to D. So for D it says, if Nancy knows she is going to use at least 300 minutes, so if she's going to use 300 minutes, now X equals 300, which plan should she select? So all you have to do over here is go to the spirit equation and to the horizon linear equation and substitute the value of X by 300. So the spirit was 20 plus 0.05 X. Horizon was 0.15X. So let's go ahead and plug in. 20 plus 0.05, and that would be 300. And then this one would be 0.15 times 300. Now you grab your calculator and you do both of them. 20 plus 0.05 times 300 would be $35 with spirit. And then Horizon would be 15 times 300, and that would be $45. So which one should she pick if she's going to use at least 300 minutes? Most definitely the cheapest one, which is Spirit with $35. All right, let's go ahead and stop it right now. I will see you guys tomorrow, and we will pick up on number 17. You babies have a good night.